Welcome to my series, Surviving the Larapinta Trail. This is part 6, No Rest, No Joy. The hidden cost of rushing the Larapinta Trail. The Larapinta Trail is one of the great hikes of the world. 223 kilometers of ridgelines, gorges and desert country. But ask anyone who's walked it and they'll tell you the same thing. It's not just about finishing, it's how you finish. Too many hikers push themselves with rigid schedules, with no buffer days, no time for side trips, and discover, too late, that in chasing the end, they miss the magic. The fastest completion of the trail was 53 hours, 50 minutes and 40 seconds, achieved by Polish-born Piotr Babas between the 17th and 19th of August 2023. His trail would have been broken down like a military operation, every second timed, every moment accounted for. Yes, he finished, but listen to what finishing looked like. He barely slept, taking only tiny micro rests. He hallucinated, experienced tunnel vision. His feet were wrecked from hours of sharp quartzite underfoot. His decision-making became slow, foggy, automatic. And then more than once, he nearly ran out of water. This wasn't just an athletic challenge. It was survival layered onto speed. And his story teaches something crucial. You can hit your goal and still pay a massive physical and mental price. Sleep deprivation on technical terrain is dangerous, and unsupported speed attempts leave zero room for error. One dehydration event, one wrong turn, and it's over, and you're calling for rescue. In Pieter's own words, those final hours felt like moving through a dream in survival mode. Now that's one extreme example, but it can apply to people who try to do the trail in 7 days. On average, most people take 16 to 20 days to complete the Larapinta. This pace allows for steady progress, recovery, and time to soak in the views. Those who push 1 day or less per section, usually ultralight runners carrying minimal gear, don't get to really enjoy the trail. There's no time for side trips, no swims, no pausing to watch the sunrises and the sunsets, and no high camping. I met a couple doing the trek in 9 days at section 4-5 Junction, and they said, full of regret, that their trail was no kumbaya. The lesson is simple. The Larapinta is not a race, it's an experience. When you cut out the rest, you cut out the heart of the trail. There are countless side trips along the Larapinta that transform a hard walk into a lifelong memory, but you'll only reach them if you give yourself time. These include Standley Chasm. Allow time to be there at midday. The midday light turns the rock walls into a glowing red. Most hikers rush through and never see it. Take extra days to allow for high camping, such as Brinkley's Bluff, Counts Point, Hilltop Lookout, or the Mount Giles Lookout. Camp at these high camps and watch the sunrise spill over the ranges. Some walkers push on, trying to stick to a schedule, and miss some of the best campsites in the country. Also, take the time to go for a swim at the Ellery Creek Big Hole. It's cold, but it's super refreshing. Ormiston Gorge is not just a campsite, but a labyrinth of sidewalks and waterholes. If you don't build in a rest day here, you'll miss the chance to explore one of the jewels of the Westmacs. And don't forget Mount Sonder at sunrise. Many hikers set alarms for 2 a.m. to climb Sonder for sunrise. But if you've rushed the last few days, or you arrive too exhausted to enjoy it, or worse, you skip it entirely. These side trips don't just add kilometers, they add wonder. Without them, the Larapinta becomes a checklist, not a journey. The consequences of moving too quickly aren't just the missed experiences. Fatigue on the Larapinta isn't just unpleasant, it's dangerous. When you're hurrying, you're more likely to misstep or lose the route. The trail sits in Central Australia. High heat, high UV, dry winds and low humidity. Physical exertion at high intensity increases dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, muscle fatigue and the risk of heat illnesses. Official safety notes for the trail stress that overexertion is one major risk. Dehydration often triggers a cascade of other problems. Pushing hard over long hours without rest increases cognitive fatigue, poor decision making, slower reactions and more chance of errors. Of navigational errors and of footing errors. This can lead to injury. And night runs or insufficient sleep amplify this risk. Joy comes from immersion. Beyond just finishing fast, the trail is about an experience. Scenery, nature, self-reflection, remote wilderness. Going at breakneck speed often removes that. In short, the faster you go, without adequate rest, the more you pay, both in risk and in what you lose of the experience. Without buffer days, you're also forced to walk through injuries, pushing blisters into infections, or turning sore knees into long-term damage. The hikers who come away with the best memories are the ones who build in wiggle room. They factor in an extra day or two to explore Ormiston Gorge, to stop early at Serpentine Chalet Dam just to rest under the ghost gums, to eat a proper meal at Standley Chasm, and to take the time to have a late start to try the famous pancake breakfast before pushing on to Brinkley's Bluff. Buffer days also save you when things go wrong, when you're sick, injured, or the weather turns, or when your body just says enough. A schedule without rest is a schedule that breaks the moment life intervenes. For example, we did the trail west to east, and we had to stay another day at Red Bank Gorge due to torrential rain before starting our trek. My advice to future hikers: plan fewer kilometres per day than you think you can do. Add rest days and build in that buffer time. The trail is tougher than it looks, and your body will thank you for the chance to recover. But more importantly, those extra days buy you the freedom to enjoy the magic, to sit under the stars without a clock ticking in your head. The Larapinta Trail is more than a hike. It's a rhythm, a flow, a chance to live by the desert's pace. If you rush it, you miss it. No rest, no joy. But with rest, moments become memories, and the trail becomes not just something you completed, but something you truly experienced.